Welcome back to Blast Guys Reviews. In this review, we're going to be taking a look at the new G.I. Joe Classified Series Footloose action figure. And I must say, out of this current wave, this is probably the one I wanted the most, which ended up being the last one I was able to get. But nonetheless, I got him, and that's awesome. So here he is. This is the front of the box. Pretty much what we're used to seeing. Nice window box. I love the accessories that come with this figure. I think the overall camo came out perfectly. So yeah, let's get into it. So here's the back of the box. Got the two bullet pulls. We got the four-leaf clover on the shoulder for luck. We got the awesome looking rocket launcher with the eye and teeth on. I think it's amazing. I love that touch. Nice artwork in the back. But what really stands out, I do want to point out real quick, is something I noticed. Now, if you look real close behind Dusty back there, which is often in a cartoon, you do see Dusty and Footloose together in a desert scheme, even though Footloose has more of a, jungle camo and Dusty with a desert deco. There's the Mauler tank. A lot of times Hasbro's always hitting some Easter eggs in the product images. Is this a prelude to what we may get in the future? I would see a Mauler as a HasLab. I think it'd be too big for general release, but who knows? Things are getting crazy in the Classified series with the new Snowcat as a HasLab, which looks amazing. But what I also noticed on Blowtorch's box is that there is a bridge layer. We all know that the Mauler came first in the vintage line, and then the bridge layer was a heavy modification of that mold from the Mauler to create the bridge layer. Obviously, the hull and the treads were the same, but the upper business ends of these vehicles were modified. But I'm just wondering, is this some kind of Easter egg for something that may happen in the future? We got the Mauler, we got the bridge layer. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm kind of curious. Is this a happy incident, or maybe something to it in the future? Another side of the box, I do like the artwork. I think it came out very nicely. It says 156 in the line. And the other side of the box with the stats and the QR code, and doesn't really do anything. And there's the top of the box with a little plastic hanger. There's a bow in the box. No one cares about that. Unless you're trying to track it down in a store and you need that UPC, but who can find anything in the store anymore? Alright, here we go, man. We got Footloose, and I think it looks good. I think the head sculpt came out really nice. I love the overall camo pattern that came out. Footloose is definitely one of the cooler characters. He wasn't on the TV show, the cartoon from the original, a whole lot, but when he was, you did find him with Dusty a good bit. So kind of like one of those old matchup teams, like Leatherneck and Wetsuit or Alpine and Bazooka, kind of like that. It kind of went together a lot in a cartoon, but overall, I do like it. So let's take a look at that head sculpt. Oh, there it is. Looks cool. Nice. Just you got his medium brown hair. Nice sculpt. He has like a 5-hour shadow. If you look really close on his face, he got a split mustache that he's kind of known for. There's a basic head. I kind of like this. I'm not a big guy on big open mouth figures, but this kind of gives you a universal fit in any of your scenarios. I mean, it doesn't allow you for dynamic poses or photography, but I prefer just a standard head sculpt over a dramatic one. We have his web gear, his vest here. Not too much in the color wise. Nice sculpting, some pouches, some features here throughout on the side. We do have one black grenade, like a tactical grenade. Looks pretty good. You can see his shirt is kind of buttoned down, open here at the top. I like this section. This turned out really cool. This gives me a more modern feel with the old pad here with the old, kind of the American flag there with the stars. That looks really good. Move on to the back. You can see the back of the web gear. Do we have like the 4-leaf clover in red for luck? Because usually it's Dusty and him in some type of peril against a bunch of cobras, from what I remember from the cartoon. We do have a belt, same color as his vest / web gear. Looks pretty good. We do have a clip here on the back. That looks like to be non-removable, best I can tell. But it is painted though, so that's pretty cool. We have some med kit there, painted in black. We nice got a little bit of red there to match up, the 4-leaf clover. A pistol case to keep that. And you can see the texture in the back of his pants, the pockets, the print there. Looks very cool. Oh, I know what this is now. It's a knife sleuth. I'm just trying to figure out what that was, but it's upside down. I'm not sure if this pouch is going to get in the way of that. We'll take a look at that here in a second. But I love the camo pattern on these guys. You know, the nice pads on his knees. His boots are black. The green, all drab type of stripe down the side. On the in and out, they do have some outer tread pegholes on the bottom. But overall, a nice camo pattern. I'm very excited how the figure turned out. Overall, I think it nailed it from Da Vinci's look. Now on his wrist, he has a watch. It has a little bit of red at the face. It's just more of a gunmetal color. And then we have the auto draft kind of band here on his arm. It's very, very cool. Now for articulation, you can look down, back and forth, all the way around. Got the side to side look. His head has a joint, and then his neck is, has a joint there also, which give you a little bit of extra range. The arm rotates 360 up just above the T-pose. Double jointed elbows. Looks good. Pretty much fold his arm in half. Now this wrist rotates 360, and this, I can tell, has the up and down motion. And then this wrist has the in and out. So you have one of each, so that's perfect. I love that when they have one that goes up and down and in and out, so you can shoot a better range for your weapons when you're just holding them. Chest articulation is there, but the vest web gear gets in the way. The waist is the one that's kind of like ab crutching. There's rotation there. Yeah, it's definitely there. Can't really. Yeah, there you go. Maybe we can get some of it. And then back. Looks good. For the legs, you can do, almost a pretty good split for Footloose. Drop down hips, obviously. Oh, yeah, I always forget about these because of the web gear. He does have butterfly joints. Right there, you can see them pretty good. Thigh cut there. Double jointed knees. Looks good. Feet do pivot down on a ball peg, so they can go around that ball. Other than, what's your standard articulation for the G.I.JOE classified. Nothing special, no addition, special range or like that, but it looks good. There's that butterfly joint again that I keep forgetting about most of the time. But anyway, overall for the figure wise, I think they nailed it. Alright, for accessories, so let's start this off head to toe. Now the accessories left me quite disappointed. Now with Hasbro, it seems like they say they listen to the fans. They may change something. They always go back to their ridiculous ways. And you're probably wondering, what is he talking about? What I'm talking about is these accessories. And we're going to get into it. First, let's start with this helmet. Now they went with more of a modern style helmet. We have the mesh on the top. We have the headgear, headpiece here for the headsets, and then we have the mic, and we have the chin strap. Now this is more of a modern type helmet instead of more of the standard old school military helmet that Dust used to be wearing in the cartoon. Now this isn't a retro style figure, I get that. So, but I'm not a fan of the chin straps on the figures. Normally Dusty has his strap hanging down. Dusty. Footloose. Dusty's his buddy, right? Anyway. Then he has the optics on his helmet here, and you can see it's kind of shiny in there. They have glued those on. I don't know why they went that route. I mean, you could have took that off so you can put it on and off, but no, it's glued on. You might be able to remove it if you take some heat to it, but then you're modifying your figure. And if you want to do that, then you obviously would degrade your value for if you ever want to sell it, whatever. But the helmet's pretty cool for the most part. A lot of detail. And this is one of the reasons I don't like these helmets, because they're usually a pain to get on and off. Sometimes these chin straps get caught under the chin, and you're more or less pulling off the head, off the neck, whenever you do it. But that actually wasn't that bad. It fits relatively nicely. I think it looks good. The mouthpiece is where it kind of should be. The chin strap actually goes on over his chin, but it doesn't look bad for a classified version of Footloose, but not too bad. Not sure if I'll sport him with the helmet or without. Now the backpack is just a piece of solid plastic. It is the only solid accessory you get pretty much in this entire set. A lot of detailing, no paint. I wish I'd moved to the real over shoulder straps. I think that'd be a fantastic upgrade to the new for the G.I.JOE Classified figures, as we always want to improve on our figures. And it fits into the peg hold system that's been used since the beginning of G.I. Joe and action figures. And kind of just keep going with that same old peg hole, which is fine. I mean, it does its job, no big deal. But it kind of leaves like gappage sometimes. If you have the straps, it'd be really cool. Now here we have Footloose's sidearm. It is a port there in the front for boss effects. Looks pretty cool. Looks realistic. Not too bad. And there he is holding it. He can hold it quite nicely. The finger goes in the trigger guard. Looks very cool. Very realistic. He can hold it quite well at different positions. And as you can see here, there is a place to stow it away on his hip. And it fits quite well. Protrudes through the bottom of the case. Very nicely fit. Next up we have Footloose's blade. Again, very gummy, kind of thicker than you would expect for a knife. Bends. It's not warped or anything. I'm kind of curious how this is going to go because of, see how this fits in there, because of this pouch. It's painted blade, so more likely if you leave that sitting in there and you live in high humidity, you're going to lose some paint when you pull that sucker out of there. So, but the pouch is not in the way. It touches, but it doesn't stop from the overall function and placement of his knife. Looks pretty good to me. Now Footloose doesn't come with alternate hands, so we have the trigger finger hands, so we can still hold his knife pretty decently nonetheless. As you can see, he's coming on nicely and overall aesthetically because of his filling up with his accessories, and he can hold all of his accessories, which is fantastic. Now, one of the biggest disappointment here is going to be his weapon. This is very cool. I love the standard M16, M4 type weapons, and this is the overall look of the aesthetic of this, but this thing is one big piece of gum. It is back to the other stuff that we used to get that we all complained about. This is horrible. Good sculpt. Removable clip. You see here, but very cheaply done. And it doesn't look like that has a great grasp on it because of the gumminess of the clip. But the sculpt is cool. There's a plug for the, you can see how it's shooting upward for the blast effect. Not too bad. Overall for aesthetically, but terrible on quality. He can hold his weapon quite nicely, very nice and close to the chest if you want that look. Not too bad. Come across the body. Bring up the other hand. It doesn't have any kind of like a cradle hand or anything, it's just another trigger hand. But just generally really quick. I mean, you can pull it off if you wanted to. Overall, not bad on appearance, but poor quality plastic. This is probably the key accessory that I had my eye on because it looked very cool overall with the the teeth and mouth on the business end of the bazooka. Alright, now that I picked up Footloose from falling over. Nice detailing, sculpt wise. It's just a black besides a little bit of deco there on the front. The strap is kind of soft. It's not too harsh. So it's pliable. Then you have this. Both sides are open. It is soft. You can bend it without too much effort. It does come with a rocket, which is really cool because it has the green on it. And then we have the business end of this thing. Looks pretty cool. You can set it in the front here, and there is a stop in there that keeps it from going all the way in. And it kind of gives you that really cool lethal look where the rocket's protruding through the front. And then with the eye and mouth, I think that'll look fantastic. If you're curious, because I kind of am, the back of this, you can't put the rocket in. Yeah, So it did, which doesn't make any sense, but I was just kind of curious where that stop was. I thought it was like a solid. It's not solid in the middle. I'm not sure how deep that block goes because I can't get the rocket in. Yeah, but it looks pretty cool. Now, as for holding it, there's no handle, there's no additional hands, there's no special articulation. So you're basically going to hold on to the strap, which is kind of silly. You're never going to get the other hand across the top there to the firing mechanism. And that's pretty much it. There's really no way to do that. Unfortunately, this definitely is a really hinder on playability. But at least you can stow it away there on your shoulder, and I think it looks fantastic. Alright, so there's Footloose all geared up. So, the figure is great, the accessories are not great. Just know that going in when you're purchasing this figure. I hope you guys like this detailed review of Footloose. If you do, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe down below. Let me know what you think. Going back to these gummy accessories and any other questions you have. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next review.